So I knew that Bridges Reentry needed to implement this TTS strategy on top of our whole woman wellness strategy. And we didn't have funding for it at the time. So it took a leap of faith to figure out that we needed to have our resources and energy going into this. And then I turned to MJ Osmek, who was a trainer for TTS. And that was the spark that we needed to get it going, so that she could train 6 additional coaches that we didn't have at the time. We had lots of women to work with, but we didn't have any coaches to train them. So MJ, what was that like for you?
That was interesting. So 6 people had to be trained so that we could try to figure out how to put this program and integrate it into our Bridges Reentry pillars. What did it look like was, for the individual, is very important. The individual experiences transition to success through 2 tools. The first tool is called A Map of My Dreams, and I happen to have a book here called The Map of My Dreams Workbook and Guide, which is part and parcel of what every person sees. And it begins with helping the individual woman think about dreaming of what's possible. And the interesting thing about that is that sometimes they have no idea because they've not dreamed. And it may take time for them to be able to relax enough to begin to dream. After they work with a coach, they begin to do something about dreaming, identifying what might be possible in their lives. We use something called the Life Area Survey, which is a data-driven Likert scale of 22 domains. They are all social determinants of health. So they include things like work, employment, safety, personal safety, and it goes down a whole list of things that the person gives a scale from 1 to 5. 1 being the lowest, high being the highest. And they then choose the specific social determinants of those 22 as their priorities. And those priorities then begin to be part of a goal-oriented program for them, which they choose for themselves. Now, one of the things that we have in Bridges, which is just so different from many others, is that we have a mentorship program, and every woman has a mentor and a coach. And for that, I'm going to ask Pam to talk about it, since she's the head of the mentorship program.
Thanks. Well, we saw early on that with the mentor program, the Beyond the Gates mentor program, that there could be a relationship between a coach and a mentor to work together, team together, and work with a mentee. And actually, not only does the Map of My Dreams, but the whole program provides an excellent framework for the mentors to work through and guide and be right beside their mentee as they determine which goal they're going to be working on. It's really important, not only is the coach well trained, obviously, and certified, but our mentors receive a very comprehensive orientation, not only to Bridges and all its programs, but trauma-informed care, recovery, relapse sort of things. And they are well oriented into the Transition to Success program. They receive videos, and then they meet with their coaches. And together, the coach and the mentor discuss the life area survey that the mentee has just taken, and from there together they work to identify perhaps the top 3 to 5 priorities. From there, the coach just meets with the mentor and mentee about every 3 months, because but the mentee is tracking the data that our mentor is tracking the data that she receives, the progress to each one of the goals, and it provides a real consistency and continuity between the coach and the mentor, and it also provides data as well that can go into the tracking, which is so important to measure the efficacy of the program.
So, Gay, tell us what you have seen in terms of the impact of this program.
Well, Bridges Reentry really has seen personal stories and data. And the personal stories have been about women who, one woman never thought she could go to school, and she's almost so close to getting her bachelor's degree. Other women, their goal was to reconcile with their families that they hadn't seen for years, many years in some cases. And now we see them doing things together, having parties together, and celebrating birthdays, and something that they never would have thought of without having, I think, the structure. We've also seen women want to be able to buy a house, and we've had 2 women buy a house, and now I've seen another goal from a woman. She wants to buy a house in a year, and she'll do it. So we have those great stories, but in addition to that, we have now a whole year of tracking these women. And now we have a study that's done, an evaluation study that's done by professionals, that now we have data to show. And so next year, we're going to have even more data to show. It's all very exciting to think about the possibilities of what can happen in the future.